Hello everyone, today is Thursday, September 16th. I'm Stephanie Haney. This is 3 News Now. Thanks for joining me for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I appreciate you being here back after being out yesterday because I was doing some reporting on the U.S. women's national team being here in Cleveland, which we will get to in just a moment. But first, we have an interesting story that's coming out of Hudson schools here in Northeast Ohio. The mayor of Hudson is calling for the school board to resign over what he is calling effectively child pornography due to writing prompts in a senior writing class. The mayor of Hudson is calling for these resignations, telling them, here's what he's told the school board. I'm going to give you a simple choice. Either choose to resign from this Board of Education or you will be charged. And he said he's spoken to a judge about it. Now, the interesting thing here from a legal perspective, as an attorney licensed here in Ohio, he doesn't get to decide who gets charged and who doesn't. If there are criminal acts happening, the people will be charged. That is up to the criminal justice system, not to the mayor in Hudson. But here are the details. It was Monday night that the Hudson told the school board at a Board of Education meeting that he had received multiple complaints about content in a book called 642 Things to Write About. This is supplemental material that was given out in a senior writing class. And in those prompts for writing, some of the suggestions include topics surrounding sex and drinking and other topics that have been found offensive by some. Now, Hudson City Schools Superintendent Phil Herman released this statement. He said that it was on Friday, September 10th, that the Hudson City School District was made aware of inappropriate and offensive writing prompts included in the supplemental resource. And he said that it was being used in the high school, senior college credit plus writing sections. He said the district immediately determined that it shouldn't be in the hands of the students, and on Monday collected the books from the students enrolled in the course. Herman also said that none of the inappropriate writing prompts in the book were assigned as coursework for the class. This is a developing story. If there's more information to share, we will have that for you at WKYC.com. Now, on Tuesday, it was the much anticipated special primary election for Cleveland mayor, and we had the results for you yesterday, just sharing them with you now because we didn't have a show yesterday. Justin Bibb, nonprofit executive, was the top vote getter in Cleveland, followed by Cleveland City Council President Kevin Kelly. So that means everyone else is out of the running. Those two will face off in November's general election to be the next mayor of Cleveland. This will be the first time we've had a new mayor in 16 years, with Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson not running again. It will be one of those two elected in November. Now, if you've been seeing claims online that there's a proposal by President Joe Biden that would give the IRS more access to your bank accounts, there is some truth to that. Our Verify team has looked into it. It was at the end of April that President Biden announced the American Families Plan. Now, including in that proposal is tax reform. And in testimony to the Senate Finance Committee on June 8th, IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig laid out what would be included in that plan. You can see the full plan at WKYC.com. But as part of that plan, financial institutions, your banks, would be responsible for reporting your withdrawals and deposits. That would break down physical cash, transactions with a foreign account, and transfers to and from another account within the same owner. And this would apply to business and personal accounts with at least $600 in it. So that would apply to a lot of people. Now, according to that testimony, the purpose of the plan would be to improve tax administration and provide the IRS with a blueprint to address various facets of the tax gap. So yes, our team can verify it is true under this proposed legislation, the IRS would have access to more information on accounts with more than $600. Now, keep in mind, this proposal would still have to make its way through Congress. So this is not a law yet, but it is true that that is part of the proposal. Sticking in Washington, D.C., the White House offered on Wednesday rapper Nicki Minaj to talk with her about her questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. This is after the rapper, who was born in Trinidad, tweeted out a claim that raised a lot of eyebrows. She tweeted out that her cousin's friend in Trinidad had got the COVID-19 vaccine and it caused him to become impotent and also some other physical ailments that don't sound like they are very comfortable. Now, these claims have been dismissed by medical professionals. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, he dismissed the claim. He called it misinformation during an interview on CNN on Tuesday. He said there's no evidence that it happens, nor is there any mechanistic reason to imagine that it would happen. Now, Nicki Minaj tweeted that she was invited to the White House. Now, the White House came out and said, we offered her a call, not necessarily an invitation to the White House. So there's some back and forth going on there. But she did make headlines because she decided in a tweet to her 22.6 million followers that she would not be going to the Met Gala because it was requiring attendees to be vaccinated. She said she wouldn't get the shot until she'd done enough research. So the White House reaching out to her and offering to answer her questions is sort of par for the course for what they've been doing for people who have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine, particularly people with such large followings. 22.6 million people, that's a lot of people to be sending your message to on Twitter. So we'll see if Nicki Minaj gets those questions answered and if she shares those answers with her almost 23 million followers on Twitter. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. Another big case number today from the Ohio Department of Health. 8,349 new reported cases just today, according to the Ohio Department of Health. Yesterday, 7,747 new reported cases. The current death toll related to COVID-19 in Ohio is now at 21,265. Right now, there are 3,583 people in the hospital being treated for COVID-19 in Ohio, and out of those people, 982 of them are being treated in the intensive care unit. Now, switching gears, let's talk about what's happening here in Cleveland today. The U.S. women's national soccer team is here in Cleveland. They are playing Paraguay at FirstEnergy Stadium. That kicks off at 7:30 p.m. This is the first match for the U.S. women's national team since winning bronze at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, the delayed 2020 Tokyo Olympics that just happened last month. They are very excited to move forward. That's why we didn't have a show yesterday. I was sitting in on the media availability for the players, listened to player Alex Morgan, listened to player Katerina Macario, listened to the head coach. What they are saying is they are ready to move forward. They are closing the Olympics chapter, and they are focused on World Cup 2023. Other big things happening at the game. Carly Lloyd has announced she's going to retire after these next 4 matches. So 2 against Paraguay, 1 tonight here in Cleveland, 1 at the end of the month in Cincinnati, and then 2 in October. And after those matches, that'll be it for Carly Lloyd. She's looking to move up in her rankings. She's already one of the most celebrated U.S. women's national team members. So she's looking to hopefully score a couple more goals in an international match so she can move from 4th to at least tying for 3rd, possibly bumping up to 2nd place if she can manage to score those goals here in the next 4 games. We will be live down at the game today at Cleveland's FirstEnergy Stadium. I'll be there. So for your trending stories today and clicking in Cleveland, I'll be down there at FirstEnergy Stadium. We'll talk a little bit more about the U.S. women's national team and what's going on there. Speaking of FirstEnergy Stadium, according to a report published in The Athletic today, NFL insider Jeff Howe says that the relationship between Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns is positive, but they're in a bit of a holding pattern, and that the Browns want to see Mayfield produce over a longer stretch of time as they continue to look at possible contract extension offers. They want to see him in second-year head coach Stefanski's offensive system. They believe, according to Howe, that he was much better over the second half of last season. He had 15 passing touchdowns and just 2 interceptions over the last 8 games, including a playoff victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let us never forget that. Now, by comparison, though, Mayfield had 15 touchdowns and 7 picks in the first 7 games in 2020. Now, we do know that he's already at 1 interception, which he threw at the end of the game against the Kansas City Chiefs last Sunday. So let's hope that we see less of those. Again, interceptions, relatively rare, comparatively speaking, for Baker Mayfield. But it seems that the head staff at the Cleveland Browns, they want to see longer production over a longer period of time. And according to Howe, at least, that might be what is putting a pause or at least, a waiting period on a long-term contract extension for Baker Mayfield. Now, speaking of this Sunday, they will play the Houston Texans. It will be the home opener at FirstEnergy Stadium. So the city of Cleveland is issuing reminders of the rules for the Muni lot. These are the official reminders from the city of Cleveland. No open pit fires, propane grills only, no charcoal, no alcohol. That is an official reminder from the city of Cleveland. Saving spaces is not allowed. You'll be charged for parking spaces that you are occupying. No in and out privileges. You got to pick up all your trash. No vandalism will be tolerated. Crossing the shoreway, not allowed. No private bathrooms, latrines, they say, and lanes have to stay clear of activity at all times. These, again, are the official rules from the city of Cleveland. And another big thing happening today, back in 2004, the Rolling Stones created this list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Well, they've updated that list for the first time in 17 years. They're calling it a total reboot. They pulled more than 250 artists, musicians, and producers, along with figures from the music industry and leading critics and journalists. So, without further ado, here are the top 5. You'll have to tell me if your song lands in here. 5, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. It's a classic. Number 4, Like a Rolling Stone from Bob Dylan. Number 3, A Change Is Gonna Come from Sam Cooke. Number 2, Fight the Power by Public Enemy. And number 1, Respect by Aretha Franklin. I looked at the top 25. I didn't see anything by Tom Petty or Madonna, so my top 25 would probably be just a little bit different, but I am no music expert, and you can ask anybody who knows me about that. But I do like my Tom Petty, and I do like my Madonna. I also like my Jeopardy, and by the way, we've got a Northeast Ohio native competing on Jeopardy, Matt Amodio. Well, now the Jeopardy host hunt is over for now. The show has announced that the people who will be splitting hosting duties while they figure out a permanent replacement for the late Alex Trebek, and now the ousted was executive producer, was host, Mike Richards. The people who will be splitting those duties will be Mayim Bialik and Ken Jennings. So that's who we'll be seeing until we figure out who we'll be seeing for the long term. And that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Thursday, September 16th. I will see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment. I will be coming to you live from FirstEnergy Stadium, where the U.S. Women's National Team is taking on Paraguay tonight at 7:30. There are still tickets available. You can go to WKYC.com to see how to get those tickets if you're able to get there. You guys, the U.S. Women's National Team doesn't come to Cleveland every day, so if you're able to get there, I would recommend it. I'll be there, and if you're there, maybe I'll see you. All right, everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you back with more 3 News Now tomorrow.